Welcome to Voices of Impact with Dr. E, the podcast where meaningful conversations meet real-world impact. I'm your host, Dr. Eva Klechik, and each episode brings forward leaders, innovators, and changemakers who are shaping the future across healthcare, technology, business, and social impact. Through candid dialogue and thoughtful insight, we explore ideas that challenge conventional thinking and inspire purposeful action. Before we begin, a quick note. The views and opinions expressed during this podcast are solely those of the host and the guest. They do not represent the views of any organizations, employers, or institutions with which either may be affiliated. Thank you for joining us. Let's get started.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Eva Klechik, and this is Voices of Impact with Dr. E. It is such a pleasure to being here with a wonderful guest that I brought in, Haewon Park. She's a medical device expert working on the regulatory side. She used to work for pharma. Now she has her own little adventure, her company. So we're going to dive in today and talk a little bit about her background, talk a lot about medical devices and the changing environment, and then also talk about her new adventure, which is setting up her private organization where she gets to impact medical devices and work across the international borders. So without further ado, Haewon, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Eva. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Haewon Park, and I'm Regulatory Affairs in Medical Device. I actually have a little bit untraditional career path. So I started as an environmental scientist. My PhD is in actually geosciences, and I studied this rare enzyme in diatoms. But that was a long time ago. And then after I started my career, I found I'm actually more drawn to innovation science and where it has more stronger regulatory system, which is life science. There is FDA, there is a huge business around it, there is an urgent need for human health. So that's how I switched my career from environmental scientist to regulatory affairs.
Oh, wonderful. Well, this is quite a journey that you've had. And just so everyone knows, you're originally from South Korea, is that correct?
That's correct.
When did you come into the United States?
Oh, wow. I came here last century.
For those of us listening, she's not coming in the 1925, you know.
I came here in 1999.
Very nice.
Around the, Y2K time. And I started as a graduate student, and now, after I graduated from school, I started my career here. Yeah, so that's how I ended up staying in the States.
That's wonderful. Well, I came in 96, so you and I have been here pretty much the same amount of time enjoying this
Yes.
beautiful country. Haewon, thank you so much for the beautiful intro about your background and where you were from originally. I would like to start this discussion talking about what actually defines a medical device. I'm not sure that everyone listening actually has ever heard the definition or fully understands it. Would you mind just starting describing to us how do you define or what is the official definition?
Yeah, so according to FDA, in general concept, medical device is any device that is intended to be used for medical purposes. And anything you see, maybe something even simple as like a tongue presser or something like a personal protection equipment. Or something like a walker, helping you, or crouch, chairs, all those things being used for medical purposes are classified as medical devices.
Okay.
depending on the risk it's associated with using the medical devices. For example, FDA categorized them into 3 different classes. So, like liquid medication dispenser, for example, is class 1 device because it's very simple. It doesn't really do any harm other than maybe, dispensing a little bit of wrong amount, which can be quickly addressed. So those are class 1 devices, and then most devices that we are talking about maybe today will be probably categorized as a class 2 devices, which has some risks associated that threats your safety, which can be also addressed with some structured guidance and control.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. So their devices can vary from pretty much simple pill dispensers all the way to life-saving type of equipment.
Yes.
Um, can you also maybe talk a little bit? I know that recently with the AI and machine learning being part of the healthcare industry, a lot of the devices are actually powered by those, either by the machine learning models or by
Mhm.
some kind of software as a medical device type of devices are being brought into the play. Can you first of all talk about what constitutes those types of devices, and then explain, maybe we can talk a little bit about
Yeah.
what it means from development, what the manufacturers actually have to think when they are applying AI into those devices.
Yeah, so this is like a huge topic right now. Um, I feel like my LinkedIn is all filled up with talks with about AI and machine learning. And then all these companies are trying to get advantage of this new technology, either by incorporating this technology into their medical device development or, just like it's so much data and then it's evolving almost in the speed of light. So yeah, this will be a very interesting topic. So AI, artificial intelligence, or the machine learning enabled medical devices are in a classification wise, it's under software as a medical device.
Mhm.
And and then we also have digital health, which is also it's having its whole own ecosystem right now.
That's true.
Yes. But if you want to know, maybe if I can talk about a little bit on numbers. So there are about 1,300 AI or machine learning enabled medical devices that's been cleared by FDA
Wow,
so
that's a big
far.
number. Yeah, that's a pretty big
Yeah,
number.
yeah, and more than half of it, about 720 devices,
Mhm.
were cleared or approved by FDA in within 2 years.
Wow. So that we are definitely moving the
Yeah, so you can
needle.
see that
Yes.
it gets really fast moving, and then 300, about 10% of all the devices that's been cleared in 2025 are actually AI or machine learning enabled devices.
Yeah, that's a quite a change in the trends, but not surprising knowing that AI is taking over everything. Can you
Mhm.
talk a little bit about what is required from those types of organizations working or developing software as a medical device? I know that FDA recently have been um, uh, created some rules and guidance, which is, I think, it was a good um, machine learning protocols and guidance that need to be followed through. But there is also, when you're thinking about
Mhm.
software as a device, there is not only technical validations, but also how it's being used, and then planning for what potential changes might be in those models or the data coming through. So can you talk a little bit about what it requires and what are some of
Sure.
the things that manufacturers think about?
Yeah, sure, Eva. But let me maybe step back a little bit
Okay.
before we talk about, because when we talk about the regulations, we want to know where the needs are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to maybe talk a little bit about, where these AI technologies are now focusing.
Sure, please do.
Yeah, so we see actually a lot of these AI or ML devices or technologies evolving in the area of radiology and diagnostics. And as you can imagine, because that's actually where you produce a lot of images and data.
Mm-hmm.
And because now those images are digitized, there are just so much data that the doctors have to read. But they don't have necessarily like a lot of time and I guess
Mm-hmm.
stamina
Yeah, that's
to
true.
spend like hours of their time in reading off of those images. And it's not just talking about one patient, it's like hundreds of thousands of patients, and then it's like a lot of data. So AI is actually taking advantage of this data, and it's because they are very fast in recognizing the patterns and then
Mm-hmm.
processing the information. So it's like a speed and the consistency are the major advantage of AI. And so and because of now this machine learning technology, these algorithms now can educate themselves. And then so whenever there's a new data set, they can kind of readjust their knowledge, so to speak, right? And then they update their knowledge based on the new data set. So we are talking about this kind of new technology that adapts to a new information and then updates their knowledge according to the new information. So from the developer's point of view, that's great. But from regulatory point of view, because so far the review process has been based on the final product. It's a static, final product. You review everything, and then, at the final product, if it looks safe and effective, and then you get market authorization.
Mm-hmm.
But now we are talking about it's like a moving target, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. So the regulation now process is rather than focusing on the finer, like a one cut of the finer shot of the product. Now regulation is trying to look at the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
Not only the whole process, but also kind of like a communication, the life cycle of communication with these developers. Like, how are you doing this? How are you managing the data? Where are you getting the data? And then how do you, evaluate the data, right?
Sure.
Verification, validation, and
Mm-hmm.
throughout the life cycle. So that's the whole concept. So now FDA is really emphasizing, I see that the two communication tools. One is for device, we have there's a submission called QSub,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
which is like, quick submission. And basically, FDA wants all these developers or the manufacturers engage FDA early on,
Mm-hmm.
even before, they may develop the product or before
Mm-hmm.
they launch the product, so that they communicate clearly about, what they're trying to do, what this device is about, what kind of data they're trying to do, and then And then throughout the life cycle, how they want to update, what
Mm.
part of data is getting updated, and then whether your software algorithm is getting updated with it or not, whether it would impact your intended user indications for use, whether it will, impact the safety of the patients. So those are all the lines they are trying to communicate. So early engagement is definitely encouraged by FDA.
Mm-hmm.
Another tool is called predetermined change control plan.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really huge documentation I think
Mm.
you have to bring to FDA, because when you look at the software development, right? I mean, there are like algorithms taking care of this one specific information and the other things, and then and so you have to kind of show them, like, this is where you process the new information, this is like where you process more like admin type of process. So this even though you change this one, it will not really impact that
Mm-hmm.
clinical treatment information process part. Like, you have to kind of show, how they are built, and how you plan to update them, and then when that happens, which part is
Mm-hmm.
actually, getting changed or not. So it's kind of showing the whole development, uh, like contract. So
Mm.
that you have with FDA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
understood. So it's a so if I'm so this is actually very, very important because the predetermined control change control manuscript or document is
Mhm.
really detailed, and you really have to present it and know when you have to resubmit it, right? Because you are stating that you're gonna only under the circumstances you can make changes because you don't believe that it makes any significant changes to the device and how it functions, including
Mhm.
impacting safety and efficacy. However, outside of these norms, you have to resubmit the entire information. It's a very interesting piece. Myself working with machine learning models and thinking about AI-enabled tooling, whether it's in data curation or in just deployment of models for production.
Yes.
Know that changes happen, and
Yeah.
data changes, right? There might be some changes in structure of the data, how it's coming in, or in the medical device. I would assume if it's deployed in the population that maybe you didn't have enough signal, that can also impact the sensitivity of how the model responds. So this is a definitely big step, but it's also a lot of responsibility that it's being carried and a lot of management, if I'm understanding correctly from what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yes,
So yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's just evolving so fast. It's like it's
yeah.
very hard to catch up. Like what all these companies are doing. Recently, I watched a video about Google Health,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know whether you heard about what they are doing. So they are actually kind of deploying this cloud system where they have all these image, like they are making collaboration with all these like Bayers, or sort of some of the
Mm-hmm.
hospitals, and then trying to take advantage of this Google cloud system, and then some of these algorithms
Mm-hmm.
in processing their imaging data, or even personal, health data. Uh, it's just to automatize, and then even kind of suggest, some of the early sign of diagnosis, which
Mm-hmm.
is, I think it's amazing. And then I just learned about this federated learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I did not know before, but now it seems like, because right about a month ago, I had a talk with somebody that I know who is in digital health development.
Mm-hmm.
And then the huge topic was about how you treat the personal data, because
Mm-hmm.
you know uh, if you are just launching in the US, you just follow the US policy. But now when you are trying to deploying the same medicine in globally,
Mm-hmm.
right? And every country has
Different.
different personal information, care system, and then protection system. And then in some cases, the personal data, health information cannot leave outside the country. So the
Correct.
data cannot cross the border,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And then in the case, if you are the developer headquartered in the US, your patients are in the UK, I don't know how they communicate. So that was kind of the huge topic. And now I heard about this federated learning system where you can actually deploy the algorithm locally and they can actually update their knowledge without necessarily exchanging the raw data,
Yeah.
which kind of fascinates me. So,
It's moving very, very fast. And I think
yes.
you also brought in something that is very important in all of the healthcare type of environment, which is the personal information, the privacy of patients' information, and how this is. And I'm with you. It varies by country. Europe is
Hmm.
much more it's much more stricter than United States. There are different guidelines and rules. United States has a very different rules when it comes to individual level and how you are treating it as well. So it is also very important for those who are listening as you're thinking about medical devices or healthcare data in general, just always check
Yeah,
what are the guiding rules of the country you are planning on working in, because it might be very different than what is in the United States. So
hmm,
this has been extremely fascinating to talk about the medical devices because of the AI changing so much. I know
hmm,
that you've been that recently or a few months ago you started your own organization, so
yeah.
and you are hoping to support I guess development or of these medical devices across countries. Can you talk a little bit about your business? What is the name?
Sure.
How did you start it? And what are you working on right now?
Thank you so much for asking me about that. Yeah, so as you know, I launched my own boutique consulting business about 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And because I came from Korea, I speak the language, I thought about why don't I leverage my skills and, the language skills to help maybe Korean startup companies, launching their product in the US. So that's how it started. And then, as I was talking to my network, I actually gained some project. And then I'm still talking to, several biotech companies, startup companies in Korea. And well, as you know, Korea is very known for its beauty
Mm-hmm.
industry.
Mm-hmm.
So, two of my first clients are from the beauty industry, and which is very interesting. One particularly is this, medical device uh, for home care.
Okay.
So it's like a device, but you can use it to remove the wrinkles or, rejuvenate the cells or, form your skin, make it look glow. Uh,
Wow. I guess we
yeah.
all need that.
So these are all the interesting about this beauty market is in a lot of cases, you can actually avoid the pre-market review by changing the promotional language a little bit. So you
Mm.
don't have to exaggerate your marketing language, like saying, it will rejuvenate your skin cells, right? Then it becomes a treatment.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. So in the case you would need, it will be handled as a medical device and it would require pre-market review.
Mhm.
But if you just say that it will enhance the look of your skin or, beautify your skin, glow, then it doesn't really necessarily considered as a medical device,
Mm,
nor just considered as a
okay.
cosmetics device, and then, it doesn't really require the FDA review. So that was kind of the strategy we were talking about, how you position your device.
Hmm.
On one hand, if you were able to say, all those technology and all these amazing things it can do, it actually creates more competitive edge compared to other companies. But then it will require the FDA review. So, that's a long and sometimes expensive pathway.
Sure.
Yeah, so many companies they want to try first, a little bit, vague
In the more of a
marketing.
cosmetics route. Yeah.
Yeah, language, and then kind of see, how they do, and then maybe submit the pre-market review.
That makes sense. What's the
Mhm.
name of your organization?
Oh, so my company is called FDA Pathfinder.
Oh, very clever, very clever.
It's very
FDA,
straightforward.
yes. FDA Pathfinder.
Yeah.
That's so, and so anyone listening, if you're interested working with Haewon, please look her company up. We're gonna be putting all of that information for everyone in the podcast, so you'll be able to reach to her. Haewon, so as you are working on your organization, on your company, trying to develop it, where are you thinking you're gonna be headed? What's your goal?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so I'm actually also engaging currently with another very ambitious biotech company from
Mm-hmm.
Korea who wants to actually have clinical trial in the US.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, and then I'm helping them to reconfigure their product
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes, the product nowadays it's getting more complicated. So it's not just the one product, but it's kind of the system.
Mm.
You have like a different components,
Mm-hmm.
make a whole system work together. So, there are many strategies you can apply in terms of the, how you want to present it.
Mm.
And then, how, even after the launch, how would you like to market it? And then how would you like to distribute it, and then, the supply and everything. So, early on setting up, having some time to think about, how we want to actually design and present our product to FDA is very good thing to do. So
Right.
yeah, it's very exciting, and I hope that I can help out, many companies like this who are really focusing on innovation in medical device or handling our illness and treatment because for me drug is kind of irreversible once
Mhm.
you take it, and it's you cannot really take it out of the system, but for a medical device in many cases it's reversible, and
That's
I think
true.
that's the beauty of the medical device, and that's why I got drawn into this
Mm.
business.
Well, that's truly inspiring, and also it sounds like you have your plan for where you would like to be and how you would like to work with your clients. So if there is anyone that would like to reach out to Haewon, please do post the podcast. Haewon, it's been such a pleasure having you here on the show, on the podcast. And I hope we're gonna in maybe next 6 to 12 months meet up again and you can tell us how's it going and how everything is changing from the regulatory side as well
Mhm.
as your business, how it's growing. But it was definitely wonderful to have you. Before we part ways, is there anything that you would like to add before we end the show, or it's a so if you do, please proceed.
Well, Well, I mean, it's been really wonderful, having this talk with you, Eva. I am really grateful for you to thinking about me, talking about this software as a medical device and all this AI and ML enabled technologies. Um, I think it's definitely we are experiencing the Big Bang of
Mhm.
this I don't even know how to call this new. It's a new era. I guess we are going through, and I think it's really exciting to observing and experiencing all these technology and then companies who are using them. And so yeah, I'm definitely it's something we have to pay attention.
I'm with you. I'm with you. We are living in a very interesting arena. So I'm sure we will have you back because I'm assuming in 6 months, what we just discussed is going to be all the news. So, and
Yes.
with that, how everything
Can
is
you
moving, I'm sure
imagine?
there will be plenty of new ways of applying AI to medical device. Well, hey, Juan, it was such a pleasure. We've learned a lot, and I hope everyone listening have learned a lot. Now, you understand how exciting yet complicated the arena is, but it's also very much growing, and it's an exciting time for this. So hopefully we will have Haewon here in the next 6 to 12 months, and we will continue discussing how this area progresses and changes. Well, I truly
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
your time and
Thank you,
everyone's
Eva.
time. Absolutely. And everyone's time. And for those of you listening, my next episode will be actually connecting to this, which is going to be on technology side. So we're going to be talking to someone working in a startup, in the tech startup, and how that ties in and how it's all moving so fast. So thank you, everyone. This has been Voices of Impact with Dr. E. Hey, Juan, again, thank you so much for joining. And for those of you listening, please stay safe and thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. E.